They're saying if they do not come to a resolution, all options are on the table, and they are planning on removing President.
What is up? You are live on Marfoogle TV. Is this Matthew?
Hey, Mark, how are you, sir?
Good. What's going on?
I want to say thank you for having me on. And I am ex-United States Coast Guard. I've got a lot of military current and retired contacts. You know, I originally started my website back in 2017. I could no longer pacify my continuance to serve my country, so I decided to start a website. I now have a podcast kind of similar to what you do. A friend of mine kind of made me aware of your shows and what you do, and I want to thank you for what you do. It's going to take all of us to win this. My website's truth-not-fiction-matters.com. And yes, to answer your question, Mark, I do have some information, and we've had troops now, I'm hearing, are influenced with the troops in Colombia. We've had ships from China and Russia offshore off of Venezuela for over a year now. It does have something to do with the immigration events that are going on, but mainly what we're seeing here is a geopolitical standoff, and it's about resources, it's about territory. Colombia has always wanted to have a bigger influence region against Venezuela. And I'm also being told, you know, I have a whistleblower, Cody Snodgrass. I don't know if you've heard of him before. Yeah. He's a friend of mine now. He's been on the SGT report, him and Oli Damagard here recently. He's been on X22 Spotlight. He's been on several YouTube channels.
You're saying you know him personally then? That you actually know him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Can I ask you though, how serious do you think? So when we're talking, we say, well, they want Venezuela because it's resources. How seriously do they want those resources? I mean, is this something that we're going to go to combat over, or is this something that one party is going to go, it's not worth it? This is a lot of money down there, isn't it?
Venezuela is a big theater right now. All eyes are on Venezuela. And to be honest with you, Mark, I was one of the first, along with Dave Hodges and a few others, that we were talking about Venezuela, Taboo 77, when no one was. They've had ships with AIS, that's Automated Identification System, transponders turned off for over a year now. Yes. China does not send ships like hospital ships for humanitarian reasons, Mark. They send them strategically to be in place for a pending conflict. So it is a very serious situation. I'm really impressed with how you have surrounded your platform, I might add, in helping military members have a voice. I cannot tell you how much that means to me, because I have a lot of contacts. I cannot mention who they are, but they are very concerned, as you and I. But back to the question.
Yes.
Yes, it's serious. It's very serious, Mark, right now in Venezuela. We're seeing EMP, controlled events. Now, I started covering EMPs some time ago. Just to give you an example, there's a headline that was done. DARPA developed ZAP bomb, electro-pulse countermeasures. This headline, Mark, was done back in 28th of August, 2008. Now we're seeing the same similar types of headlines. That's the reason the president has done this executive order, this EO, because he probably has more intel than he can share. There is a serious situation on the horizon. Are you familiar with a resource called coltan? Mark? Have you heard about it?
Yes, in fact, somebody was just calling in the other night about coltan. But you can explain it better than I can. I just found out about it.
Well, there's a lot of information surrounding it because it's very high priced, and it is a commodity that is being used for militaries around the world. Now, I probably may not know much more than you do, sir, but I was very intrigued by some of the information that I received by a gentleman out of the space energy development company that I was talking to. I'm hoping that he'll be willing to come on the channel. He's worked for NASA for some years now. He's in development on the third party kind of level, but coltan is going to be more valuable than gold or silver. It already is, because it's utilized in weaponry and satellite technology. The reason I'm saying this is because Venezuela is very rich in this resource. And that's also what I'm hearing, that we also need that resource. So does Russia, so does China, so does India. There was a headline just the other day that I put on my website about India shooting satellites out of space. Mark, no one's talking about that. That's one of the reasons why the president started the Space Force Department. That's the new frontier, if you will, one for which controls space will soon dominate the world. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing, Venezuela has also, in lieu of the coltan resource, they have many more resources in that region, like the sweetest crude oil that you can possibly tap out of the ground. And that's another resource that Russia, China, India, Pakistan, even Saudi Arabia wants to get their hands on, Mark, desperately. And that's why we're seeing some of the deep state controllers, the same reasonings like Ron Paul mentions, and so do I. Same thing I mentioned on Discord with so many channels like Patriot News, which they're big on QAnon. I'm good friends with Mike with Space Shot 76. I'm usually the guy he calls when he wants to know about geopolitical issues. But as many folks that can get out, have a voice, do what you're doing, do what I'm doing, where people can finally know the truth of what's going on in this world.
So I would love to work with you. And then I pulled up your channel here. It's Truth Not Fiction Matters, and you have people in chat saying that they've followed you since the start, and you have awesome connects.
The reason I mentioned the 8, Mark, is because that's what a couple of sources of mine, Marine and Army, are telling me. There's a build-up. You saw the press release with the president, with Guaido's wife and also some of his constituents. I'm hearing that they're going to put all options on the table, and I'll leave you with this. April 8th, folks. April 8th. They're saying if they do not come to a resolution, all options are on the table, and they are planning on removing President Maduro. That's very concerning for me. And I guess I'll leave and end with this, where you can get to your other callers. Folks, we do not need any more wars. We do not need any more Gold Star moms or fathers. So please pray for the country, our president, our military, our law enforcement community, especially those folks that are working on the border right now. It's not a made-up conspiracy border situation like we hear from the left. It is actually very real.
Oh, it's worse than people. Have
been fired every day.
Oh, it's worse than people. It's other groups that have nothing to do with Mexico getting things through. It's really, really, really bad. So,
yes, sir.
I agree with you on that. Well, thank you for calling in. Truth, not fiction, matters. Go over and show some love. Foogle Fam community is actively preparing and getting together. People are organizing whole ham radio groups. I mean, this is an amazing tool for anybody to do. You can actually meet other preppers in your state. In fact, we have all of the states broken into groups. Some states that are more popular and more active. We have Washington, we have 6 zones. In California, I believe we have multiple zones as well. So these people are meeting. They're actually going over some groups as big as 50, meeting at each other's houses, talking prep, getting things done, and actually preparing and actually making plans. Because you don't have to make it look like you're super crazy. This is an insurance. You have insurance on your electronics, your wedding ring, your house, your car, but yet you don't have insurance for your body in case something goes wrong. You need to have food and water. Find your local state group and then go in there and share and get your intel. If you are active or retired military, get into the military group. You are only allowed in there if you are military. Do not try to go in there stolen valor style. You will be booted from the entire Discord completely. There is no going back from stolen valor. We do not respect it. All you have to do is go to marfuglechat.com, and invites are emailed every day or two. So if you're not getting an instant response, know that we are manually adding each and every person, and especially, and then for the military group, you are vetted by either one of our 100% confirmed military. They're checking your questions, you know, all that kind of stuff, seeing if you're making up positions in the military or anything like that. Okay. Smart meter covers. Full disclosure, we have partnered up with the family, and once we're trying to get, we have a meeting with the family on Monday. We want them to come on. They are an amazing family. They make these. So this is supporting a kind of a mom and pop outlet. They do the smart meter covers, and I believe this is actually lowered price than some of the ones on Amazon, but you are free to go get a smart meter cover from Amazon. Learn how to do it yourself on YouTube, but if you do it this way, you can also support the Marfoogle Fam and our huge goals. It blocks 98% of the bad radiation, so ears ringing, all of the sickness, all the stuff that's going on, that very well could be something that's related to that. It blocks all of that, and it still lets the power company read the signal, so they don't have to take it off. They can just, you know, do their little machine. So go to that website if you want to get that.